Hello champions, welcome back to my channel Champions Learn and Grow. So today we will do nutrition in animals, which is chapter 2 of class 7. This is the part 2 of the chapter, right? In the part 1 I have discussed about the introduction about digestive system and its part. So the first part of the digestive system, that is mouth, have been covered, and now we come to the second part of the alimentary canal, that is food pipe or esophagus. Now, what does food pipe do? Food pipe is a tube-like structure which connects the mouth to the stomach. This is, you can see in the picture. So, and it runs along the chest and the neck. It carries lightly digested food from the mouth to the stomach, right? And the food is pushed downward by a wave-like movement of the wall of the food pipe as a result of alternate contraction and relaxation. This movement is known as peristalsis. Due to this movement, a food goes down from our mouth to the stomach. So esophagus, which is known as the food pipe, is mainly responsible for moving down the food from the mouth to the stomach. Alright. Now students, when we eat sometimes in a hurry and when we talk or laugh while eating, we may get hiccups or choking sensation. Do you know why? This happens because when the food particles enters our windpipe. Now what is windpipe? The windpipe basically carries air from the nostril to the lungs and runs adjacent to the food pipe. But inside the throat, the air and food have a common passage. You can see in the picture, this is the trachea or the windpipe, which is a passage of air. Air enters through the nose and goes to the this trachea, and besides the trachea this is a food pipe, right? In this food goes. So sometimes when we talk or we laugh while eating, the food particle generally gets it goes into the this windpipe by mistake, so we get choking, right? But then how the food, we get choking, right? But then how food is normally prevented from entering the windpipe? So during the act of swallowing, a flap like valve closes the passage of the windpipe and guides the food to the food pipe. Okay, so if by chance the food particle enter, we get choked or we get hiccups. So this is the flap-like structure. You can see this is the epiglottis. So when we swallow the food, this flap closes and the food is prevented from entering the this windpipe, right? So food directly goes from mouth to the stomach. So this is the epiglottis, which is a valve-like structure that prevents the food from entering the trachea. So understood why we get hiccups or choking sensation when we laugh, talk or eat while laugh, talk while eating, right? So next compartment of the alimentary canal is the stomach. The stomach is the widest part of the alimentary canal and it is J-shaped. Now, the semi-digested food from the esophagus enters into the stomach where the further digestion takes place. Now, what are the functions of stomach? The inner lining of the stomach secretes three things which are very important. First, mucus, hydrochloric acid and the digestive juices. Now what do mucus do? Mucus basically protects the lining of the stomach from the action of the hydrochloric acid, right? And what do hydrochloric acid do? This hydrochloric acid makes the medium acidic inside the stomach. It also kills the harmful bacteria which is present in the food and also helps the digestive juices to act. And the third part, digestive juices, which break down proteins into simpler substances. So basically inside the stomach, digestion of proteins mainly take place. So the food from the stomach is generally goes into the small intestine after the digestion, and this food is known as chyme. right? Now, after stomach, here comes our small intestine. You can see, so first from the mouth, food goes, then to the esophagus, then to the stomach, and food goes into this yellow structure is known as small intestine, right? You know, students, small intestine is highly coiled and it is about 7.5 meters long. Can you imagine? It is such a long, right? And the small intestine is a narrow tube. It receives secretions from these two glands, liver and the pancreas. And the wall of the small intestine also secrete digestive juices which further help in the breakdown of the food, right? The main functions include in this is very important, you should remember, the complete digestion of the food takes place inside the small intestine, and also the food components are absorbed over here. These are the two main functions of the small intestine, right? And then after the digestion, the partly digested food from the stomach then goes into the small intestine, where the intestinal juice complete the digestion of all the components of the food. Right from the stomach, it goes into the small intestine for the digestion. Now we will see how liver and pancreas, two glands, help in the digestion of the various food components, right? Liver. Liver is the reddish brown gland situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side, right? It is the largest gland in the body. It secretes bile juice which is stored in a sac-like structure known as gallbladder. So bile plays an important role in the digestion of the fats. Liver secretes bile and it is stored in gallbladder. And this bile helps in the digestion of the fats, right? And the second gland is pancreas. This pancreas is a large cream-colored gland which is located just below the stomach. It secretes pancreatic juices, right? Pancreatic juices what do? It carry out the digestion of fats into fatty acids plus glycerol. And also the carbohydrates are converted into glucose and the proteins are converted into amino acids. So these functions are carried out by these two glands, right? Now we will understand the second function of the small intestine, that is the absorption. How the absorption of the food occurs. The digested food now pass into the blood vessels in the walls of the intestine. This process is known as the absorption. The inner walls of the small intestine have thousands of finger-like outroots and these are known as the villi. You can see in the picture, these are the villi. What these do? These villi help in increasing the surface area of the small intestine for the absorption of the digested food. The food which gets digested in the this small intestine, these have to be absorbed into the blood. So these villi increase the surface area and in helps in the absorption of the digested food into the blood vessels. How this happens? Villi possesses a network of thin small blood vessels close to the surface. These are the blood vessels. These blood vessels absorb the digested food and transport to the different organs of the body where they are used to build complex substances such as proteins required by the body. So this is known as the assimilation process, right? Now the products of the digestion, like glucose, which breaks down into carbon dioxide and water, these releases huge amount of energy with the help of oxygen inside the blood, oxygen inside the cell, and fatty acids and glycerols, these help in building the components of the cell, and from the fats which is stored in the body as food reserve, while the amino acid is used in the growth and repair of the body. Now the next component of the alimentary canal is large intestine. The large intestine is wider and shorter than the small intestine. It is about 1.5 meters in length. Its main function is to absorb water and salts from the undigested food material. The food material undigested from the small intestine goes into the large intestine, right? And here the absorption of water and some salts occur. Now we will come to the last part of the alimentary canal, that is the anus. What happens in the anus? The remaining waste passes from the large intestine into the rectum. This is the rectum, and rectum stores the feces. And what do anus do? Anus do the removal of the fecal matter. And the process of removal of fecal matter through the anus by the body is known as the egestion. So, anus carry out the egestion of the fecal matter, right? So, students, till now we have understood the whole process of human digestion. So, we quickly revise. So, what happens in the mouth, the buccal cavity? First of all, food, we get food into the mouth with the process of ingestion, right? Here inside the food, digestion starts, and with the help of tongue and teeth, food is mixed with saliva and it gets into the uh, esophagus, and through the esophagus food goes down, and food goes down into the stomach. Here the stomach, the digestion of mainly proteins occur with the help of various digestive juices, right? And from the stomach the food goes into the small intestine. Here the complete digestion and the absorption of the food occurs with the help of the various glands, liver, gallbladder and the pancreas, right? These secrete various digestive juices which help in the breakdown of the food, and the absorption occurs with the help of the villi. Then the undigested food from the small intestine goes into the this large intestine, where the mainly absorption of water and salts occur. Then this undigested matter is generally from the large intestine is generally stored in the rectum, and finally it is ejected through the anus. So this is the whole process of human digestion. Now students, we have learned the process of human digestion. We will learn how the digestion in the grass eating animals occur. The herbivorous animals like cow, buffaloes, they eat grass, hence they are called as herbivores. So these animals quickly, what they do, they quickly swallow the grass, right? And they store in a part of a stomach, this is known as rumen. They first swallow, right? They don't chew. They swallow the grass and they store inside the rumen. The food is not chewed completely, right? Grass contains cellulose, and many animals and humans can't digest cellulose. Then, who digests cellulose? Cellulose is digested by the bacteria which is present inside the human by the process of fermentation. So that's why students, we can't digest human because we do not possess this cellulose, can't digest grass because in humans cellulose digesting bacteria is absent. So fine, till now understood. The food is first swallowed by the animal and it is stored inside the rumen, and inside the rumen this is a cellulose digesting bacteria is present. So cellulose get digested by the bacteria in the rumen by the process of fermentation. Then what happens next? The partly digested food or the grass which is present in the rumen of the cow, that is known as the cud, right? Now this cud is brought back into the mouth into small lumps, and now the animal chews it again, right? The cud is brought back into the mouth and now it start chewing. This process is known as rumination, and hence these animals are known as ruminants. Now, when this cud is thoroughly chewed in the mouth of the cow, then it swallowed it again, right? So this time the chewed cud do not goes into the rumen, it goes into the other compartment of the cow, that is the small intestine, where the absorption and the digestion of the food occurs. So this is the process in which these grass eating animals complete their digestion, right? Now we will understand about how the digestion and the feeding occurs in single cellular organisms, and one of the single cellular organism is amoeba. Amoeba is a microscopic organism. It is which we can't see with the naked eye, right? It is, and it is only single cell, means it is made up of only one cell, and it is found in pond water. Now regarding the structure of amoeba, it has a cell membrane. You can see the cell membrane. A round dense nucleus is there and many small bubbles like vacuums in the cytoplasm. This is the cytoplasm and these are the vacuoles. Its shape is not fixed, right? It constantly changes its shape. It has finger-like projections which are known as pseudopodia, right? These pseudopodia are known as false feet. These are used for movement and the capturing of the food. Now we will understand how the process of nutrition occurs in the amoeba. Amoeba basically feeds on tiny these plants and animals which are present in the pond water. So when the amoeba senses the food, what happens is it pushes out its pseudopodia around the food particle and it engulfs the food particle and the food becomes trapped inside the food vacuole, right? And then digestive juices inside the vacuole acts on the food and breaks down into smaller substances. Hence the food is then digested and is then absorbed, right? Then the absorbed substances are used for the growth, multiplication and maintenance, and absorption occur, after that assimilation occur, right? After the assimilation, then the digestion occur. In this, undigested residue of the food is expelled by the vacuole. So this is the process of nutrition in amoeba. With this, we end our chapter number 2, that is nutrition in animals. So students, if you like my video, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.